instead of just defining merger and acquisitions as selling and buying among businesses, legal people or lawyers will define merger and acquisitions as a consolidation of multiple business entities and assets in a series of financial transactions. So you see, they use more sophisticated, unusual, or let's say conventional words and makes it total different. It makes it sounds like unreachable to us. And that's what makes me falling in love with merger and acquisition. Hello everyone, welcome to Luisa Turnip Law and guest. Today we will be speaking about merger and acquisition. This is my favorite topic out of many activities in legal corporate activities. So quickly I want to recap a little bit what we do as legal corporate enthusiast or player or lawyer. Let's say I'm just a newcomer in this industry. We do helping setting up a business, and that's from scratch, which is the organic way, or non-organic, which is the merger and acquisition. And we also helping them, so setting up business, there are two ways, organic and non-organic. Non-organic means you have the money. Let's say maybe you are the son of the heir of Raja Minyak dari Medan. You have that money and you just don't want to hustle and do lots of work from the bottom. You want to just buy existing company. That is the non-organic. And the organic one, which is starting from scratch. You settle the article associations and find the shareholders and put the capital and decide what activity you want to do, and you operate the business. But it takes long, yes, and we help as well doing that business. So we help them to register the company and also to get the licenses and permits. And then we also help them to expand, to merge one another if it's needed to merge, if needed for consolidations, we do that, anything. And of course, raising capital, helping them doing joint venture, and the generic one, drafting contract and reviewing contract. So now I want to take you into that specific, let's pitch into the merger and acquisitions. As we just mentioned earlier, the sophisticated and the simple definitions of merger and acquisitions, I love this. So what is it? Yes, basically it is just selling and buying. It's no different than when you buy mobile phone, but this one more complex and more sophisticated because it requires lots of roles or talents that involved in, and it takes quite some time, which brought me to that question, how long it usually, it's 6 months or 1 year, 2 years, or it can be longer. It depends on the complexity of the deals and the stages. Now let's get into that. I would like to introduce myself though for 1 minute. My name Luisa Turnip. I am a yogi lawyer. Yes, I love doing yoga, but I also in this legal industry. So on my left is the yogi and my right hand is the legal. Di tangan kiriku ada madu, di tangan kananku ada racun. Really? No. That's not the case. So this is the thing. Yes, when you're stressed out in doing the legal things, then you can come to me for relaxing and calming the mind. So let's get into merger and acquisitions. Merger and acquisitions is a consolidation, or according to Indonesian's definitions by Indonesian's law, it is a legal actions taken by two or more companies causing that merging company loses its legal entities and cheeses by the operational of law, and the acquiring company getting stronger and dominate. Yeah, I shouldn't use the dominate, but let's say now strong, it rising its capital and ability to compete with other competitors, with the same industry. So that is the definitions. Why do business perform this merger and acquisition? Well, for reason, I will say one is for synergy, because they want to expand maybe their market. meaning the market. So let's say if I'm selling yoga business, which is the service teaching people, now I want to get yoga mats. So I'm not only teaching people, I'm not only getting money from people, but now I want to get money from people by selling my product, which is the yoga. So that brought me into the criteria or the type of structuralizations of merger and acquisition, which there are 4. There is one what is called horizontally and vertically, and there is concentric and conglomerate. So this is very important for people who want to perform merger and acquisitions, because in the stages and steps, it's really important. So how is it? How to perform merger and acquisition? There are 3 major steps. One is the pre-executions, and second is the executions and the post-executions. In the pre-executions, you as business who want to sell, you have your own strategic settle. What kind of restructuralizations you want to choose? Is it the horizontal one? Is it the vertical one? And that based on what you are running. What about your financial status? What is your ability and what is the purpose? So you want to settle what is your missions and the purpose and your visions in doing the merger and acquisitions, and from that you strategize your plan in doing the execution. So now let's move on into the section 2, the execution part. In executions, I want to say that this is the root canal. This is the essence of the merger and acquisitions. But the pre one as well is really important, because it's kind of like if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. So kind of similar concept you can, if you will, to look at in this concept. So once you settle that, you find out who is your target, because you know it already. After, like I said, my intention is I want to continue just in the same market base, customer base, but I only need to provide new offer, which is yoga mat product, while before was only the service. So now I have that, and I need to look out in the market who are going to be the prospect. And the prospect means who is going to buy. And I'm speaking from the seller point. So I'm going to look in the market, who are they? They can be the competitor, they can be the individual, or they can be the private equity. And from there, as I settle that, then I move on to do the due diligence. Of course, along the line, there are lots of activities that you need to go through. For example, as you identify, okay, that company are showing interest in me, and then you go to the IOL, which is the letter of intent, that you indicate your interest, and then you agree, both of parties, the prospect buyer and the prospect seller, and from there you do due diligence. From the seller perspective, you want to provide everything regarding your company. What about your financial record, the cash flow? What about the income? What about the tax returns? And everything regarding to the operationals, the organization's chart, and the employment and the licenses. Because company who is going to buy this, they want to know, and from there they will evaluate either or not worth buying, and they can see, they can kind of make projections about the potential in future, what revenue this company is going to bring once this company is going to be integrated into their existing company. So kind of like that. And then once that all settled, then you go into the negotiation. So let's say if the seller say this one for $10 million, and then the seller that $10 million, and then the buyers going, oh, maybe that's a little too expensive, or maybe if it's worth that way, maybe is it possible still to negotiate, and something like that. You forward and backward maybe negotiate to finally find a deal, and then you close the deal, and now you move on to the integrations, which is the post execution. There are possibly happen in these sections, the post litigations. There may be one's unhappy and there is some kind of remorse in the transactions. This is what we want to avoid. So that's why it's very important to get the professional to get involved in this process. So for example, the accountant and the business advisor, the business corporate lawyer, and any other talent that if you have the budget to finance for this role, that will be the best. And yeah, to avoid or to minimize any post-litigation kind of like the post-litigation suit. So that says a little bit about the merger and acquisition stages. So we covered that, the stages, the definitions, and how long and who are people that involved in that. So that's 10 minutes. Thank you for watching. If you would like to hear a little bit about more about merger and acquisitions, we can discuss that in future videos, and please feel free to drop what your request, and if you have any other topic, please drop it also. And thank you. Give me likes if you like this topic, and if you don't, give me comment please, because that will help for exposure of this video. I'll see you soon. Have a lovely week.